Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to the 92nd edition of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and we got kind of a few things to talk about. Well, not kind of, but we got a few good things to talk about on this podcast. So we're going to get into, right off the bat, the box office segment because I'm going to want to get straight into the Venom thing and what Venom did over the weekend, as well as the new Aquaman trailer dropped over the weekend, as well as some stuff going around with the Avengers 4 movie and Mark Ruffalo and Chris Evans and just the craziness that's revolving around it. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. But like I said at first, we're going to start off with the box office segment. And if you guys have been listening to my podcast, usually I do that last. But if it's something significant attached to the box office, then I'm going to put it first or whatnot. So let's go ahead and start off with it. So how I do the box office segment, how I do it every week, is I give my predictions that I had gave last week of this past weekend. And then I'll let you guys know what movies dominated over the weekend. And I give like what movies are coming out this week. And then my predictions for this coming weekend. And that's how it all goes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So my predictions for this past weekend of the top 5 was going to be Venom at number 1, Night School number 2, A Star Is Born number 3, Smallfoot number 4, and The House with the Clock in Its Walls at number 5. And I was somewhat close. I got all the movies in the top 5 right. It's just some of the order was different. So basically at number 1, Venom came in with 80 million, which was a huge surprise to everybody, but I'm gonna get back to that. And worldwide it did 205 million. Number 2 was A Star Is Born over the weekend, did 41.2 million, and domestically 41.6 million, and worldwide 56.6 million. Smallfoot took the number 3 spot with 14.9 million, domestically 42.7 million, and worldwide 75.2 million. And then we got Night School at the number 4 spot with, over the weekend, 12.2 million, domestically 42.7 million, and worldwide 58.7 million. And rounding off the top 5 was The House with the Clock in Its Walls over the weekend, taking in 7.2 million, domestically 55 million, and worldwide 79.3 million. And a movie that came out, I guess you could say, in limited release right now is The Hate U Give, came in at number 13 with $500,000. I just wanted to mention that because I didn't even know that it was in like limited release right now. So I may end up trying to find, a theater that's playing it and go see it this week, because that looked like a movie that's very interesting. It looked like it touched on a lot of stuff. But getting to the top 5 and what stands out, the main big thing that stands out is Venom. So I talked about it in one of my last podcasts, was that all the stuff revolving around Venom with the reviews and just, all this bad press that it was getting and how it was, and just it may not have looked like it was going to do good. But that was far from it. See, a lot of people got to remember that not everybody pay attention to the behind the scenes or stuff that's leading toward a movie, or just the movie news about certain upcoming films. A lot of people, they just know that a movie is coming out and the trailer looks good. They want to see it. They're going to go see it. Because I know a lot of people like that. I talked with a lot of people that were like, oh, well, I didn't know this and I didn't know that. And to me, because I pay attention to that and I read up on that stuff, it's kind of like second nature to me. Like, it's like, dang, yeah, I do know that. But because I am a person that truly loves movies, it's like I pay attention more to that behind the scenes stuff, the movie news regarding certain films that interests me. And it may not interest everybody. Certain people just want to go see a movie. So a lot of people that went to go see this movie is more looking at it as like, oh, it's a Spider-Man movie, and that's what my friend, she called it a Spider-Man movie, and that's one of the flaws that this movie has. But we're not gonna get into that. Basically, this movie did what I think it was predicted to do, around 70 million, something like that. And it took in 80 million over the weekend. Like, that is just crazy, especially with all the bad press that it had leading toward it, with the review embargo being lifted like a couple days before it actually hits publicly, and then with all the reviews from just like Twitter, from the social media reviews, to just the actual reviews that came out, and just not really giving really stellar reviews off of this movie, you would think that would give it a huge dent in just the money that it made, and it didn't. This movie actually thrived. It broke records. It's the highest grossing movie of an October release, and that says a lot. I mean, I like the movie. Personally, I like the movie. It's not a movie that garners a repeat viewing, but at the same time, I had some entertainment. I had some fun with it. It wasn't, like one of the best films. It's definitely not in my top 10 or top 20, but at the same time, it was a movie that I'm not regretting that I didn't see. Or I'm not regretting that I did see. It was, good. And I think a lot of people, well, more than likely, a lot of people found that it was really good. Because I know a lot of people relate Venom to Spider-Man. And I think that was one of the things that a lot of people were looking for. Was that Venom, Spider-Man villain, Spider-Man, this and that. And that's one of the things that I could say really kind of like is, I guess you could say, misleading. But it wasn't misleading. It wasn't Spider-Man in the trailer. It wasn't Spider-Man in the movie. They didn't say Spider-Man was going to be in this movie or anything like that. But it was like, when you see Joker, you think of Batman. When you see Lex Luthor, you think of Superman. When you see Venom, you think of Spider-Man. So I guess a lot of people went into this thinking that Spider-Man was going to make some type of appearance, and that wasn't the case. So people went off the premise that Spider-Man was in this movie. And I guess you could say that did kind of help it make the money that it was going to make. But like I said, a lot of people don't really care too much about the behind the scenes, the reviews and stuff like that. People just go see movies. And I think that's more of what the money is coming from. It's just the people, the average moviegoers that just go to the movies, that don't care about anything else. They really, if you tried to tell them, they probably listen, go in one ear and out the other, and then just be like, well, it looks good, I'm gonna go see it, And there's a lot of people like that. Like, my sister is like that. But at the same time, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's really not a bad thing. I wasn't hoping that this movie failed. I was just wanting to see if I got some enjoyment out of it. And that's the best that I could hope of any movie, that I get any type of enjoyment out of it, And it don't have to be like, I mean, because I know a lot of films are like really super serious or dramatic, so you can't say that you can get some enjoyment out of it. But if I felt a type of way that was going in the like section, then I could say that, like, the movie did its job, and this movie did its job. It had some entertaining parts. It was a lot I disagreed with, that I found wrong with the film, but obviously that didn't take it away from other people's enjoyment of the film. So it's crazy that this movie already just over one weekend did 80 million, and then worldwide with with like international stuff, bucks coming in is 205 million. That's nuts. It's nuts. So I guess you can look forward to it being like a Venom 2 movie, more than likely going to be. I guess you could say spoiler alert, but a lot of people, if you actually been keeping up, you already know. But maybe part 2 being called Maximum Carnage, maybe Venom and like some other like Spider-Man related character team up to take on Carnage. Maybe, but with the money that it's going to make by the end of its run, yeah, it's going to garner a part two, as well as Sony is looking at this like, well, it wasn't received too well by fans and in critics, but we could go forward with doing what we were going to do before with the Black and Silver movie, and just whatever movie they got in mind with the other like 900 characters that they own, which is nuts, just crazy. I want to know every single character that Sony owns from Marvel. Like, that's nuts. But this shows it may not have been a strong first entry in their SUMC, this Sony universe of Marvel characters, but it is a successful entry to where, yeah, we're going to go ahead and go forward with this, because I mean, it's kind of like the smart thing. A lot of people might not care to see a Venom 2 or anything that Sony is doing with Marvel characters, but hey, they're making their money. They're doing their thing. So, I mean, you can't hate on that. You just can't. But I mean, I'm happy for the movie that it did good. I didn't find as much enjoyment as like maybe the next person, but hey, I mean, they doing their thing. That's the best that you can hope for, just as a fan and just as a company that's creating these films. So, but yeah, that's the major thing that really stands out as far as the top 5 goes. Like I said, I had a little bunch of them mixed up. I thought Night School was going to continue at number 2 because of the star power, but it got knocked down to number 4, and A Star Is Born was number 2. I may have to end up going to go check that out. May do it this week. I don't know. May end up going to go check it out. But yeah, that's really all that kind of stands out. So, what's coming out this week? What is coming out this week? Well, we got 3 major films coming out this week. All three of them, I really am dying to see. I know I am definitely going to go see this first movie, Bad Times at the El Royale. Yes, Bad Times at the El Royale. And then we have First Man. And then we have Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween. My priorities, I guess you can really say, Bad Times at the El Royale. Definitely that's the first priority. That looks like it's going to be an awesome movie. Then it's going to be Goosebumps 2. I enjoyed the first film. I didn't even think I was going to enjoy it, but I truly, genuinely enjoyed the first film. I watched it with my son. What was it? It had to be earlier this year. Yeah, I watched it with him earlier this year, and he liked it, but he's kind of creeped out about it. But he wants to go see it. I definitely want to go see it. It got Jack Black back up in there, and I think I've said it before on the podcast that I've never been too wowed by Jack Black as a actor before. I've seen stuff that he was in, and I've never been amused by him. But he's kind of changed my mind with Goosebumps. And what was it? Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle. And even I liked him up in The House with the Clock in Its Walls, so he's kind of like changing my mind. So I'm definitely going to go see this. I just hope that he is in a major amount of the movie, because in the trailer, I don't really see him in too much. So I don't know. I'm kind of scared that he might not be in that much of it. But if he's not, I just hope that the rest of the film is pretty decent. At least to where I can get some enjoyment out of it, But yeah, so those are the 3 films that are coming out this weekend. And then my predictions. I think Venom is going to stay at the number 1 spot. It started off with 80 million over this weekend. I don't think it's going to drop too much, or I don't think any movie is going to top it. Especially with the movies that are coming out this weekend. Not even Goosebumps 2. I don't think it has that much power to where it can, knock off Venom from the number 1 spot. So I think Venom is going to be at number 1. Goosebumps 2, I think, has a lot of power to where it can take the number 2 spot. Bad Times at the El Royale. That one, I'm taking a gamble by putting it at number 3. Only because I don't know if a lot of people know too much about this movie. But I have been seeing a lot of, trailers from just, if you're on YouTube and stuff, you'll probably see the trailers, advertising before you watch the video and stuff. So, and I guess you could say it's kind of like a hope. I hope that it ends up being good. And if it is good, I hope that it is at number 3 or at least or at the most number 2 in the box office. But I guess you could say this is kind of like my hope for this movie. But I think A Star Is Born is going to be at number 4. And First Man, I want to say I will throw that in the top 5. And I think that will round off the top 5. So 1 through 5, my predictions is Venom number 1, Goosebumps 2 number 2, Bad Times at the El Royale number 3, A Star Is Born at number 4. And rounding off the top 5 is First Man. So that was the box office segment. So let's go ahead and jump right into the next one, which is trailer reviews. And let's go ahead and talk about this Aquaman, this awesome Aquaman trailer. I wasn't aware that this trailer was going to drop. Wasn't aware at all until I looked on YouTube and I see, what? Trailer 2, Aquaman? Let me see what this is all about. And I looked at it and I was freaking shocked. This movie looks like it's going to be freaking awesome. You see, I've had my trouble with the wall of DC, with what DC is doing, and I've explained it. And I've vented several times on the podcast, more than several times, just maybe a dozen times on the Take One podcast about just my disdain with what DC is doing and how they don't have a grip of what they want to do. But looking at Aquaman, I wasn't too sure if this movie was going to be good. Now I have faith in James Wan because he was responsible for the first Saw. He was responsible for the first and second Conjuring movies. And he was responsible for the first Insidious movie as well as Furious 7. And all those movies I like. Conjuring is one of my favorite horror films of all time. And I would say Saw is too. I wouldn't say it would be in my top 10, but top 20, maybe top 30, yeah. I know that's not really high up, but still. It's within a good amount, it's not just top 50 and this and that. But in any case, all those films are good. I enjoyed it. And a lot of those films, all of those films were received well by audience and critics. So, he is basically making a name for himself. I mean, he's been made a name for himself, but he is bigger than what he was before. And Furious 7 would put him on the map, made him bigger than that, And just to know that he is the person that's behind Aquaman gave myself as well as a lot of other people a lot of hope for this movie. That this movie may not be trash. That this movie may end up being good. Just good. I don't know if it might be on the same tier as Wonder Woman, but it has the chance of it being on that tier. Maybe even better. I don't know. But, I mean, we'll see when it comes out. But this trailer shows that James Wan, and it's just the trailer. I'm just going off the trailer. So don't just, don't put, don't be saying that oh, how would you know this and that trailer is, misleading, blah, blah. It's true. But I'm just going off the trailer. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really go off anything besides the trailer. But by the trailer, this movie looks awesome. It looks awesome. Jason Momoa, I enjoy him as Aquaman in last year's Justice League. And I was really looking forward to, this movie. Because if he can bring the charisma, because he shows that he has a lot of charisma. If he can bring that charisma to this movie, I'm gonna be lost in space or lost in the sea, because I'm really enjoying him as Aquaman, just as an actor. This makes me want to check out more of his stuff. And just by this trailer, he has a bit of humor up in there from the first scene when they're in the desert and they come to like this place where it's like, I guess, like where Atlantis used to be. And he, old girl, Amber Heard's character, I don't even know, I forgot her name, but she takes the sweat off of him and puts it on the thing to operate the machine, and he kind of laughed at it, and he said that like, oh, I could have just peed on it. You know, that type of humor is like, he has like, I guess you could say a jockish type stupid humor, but he makes it work. If that's like the correct, I mean, you might come up with your own thing, but that to me was a great scene, and that was a great joke. I loved it, and just how it was executed. So that just sets the tone that this movie is not taking itself way too serious. That this movie is going to have a lot of lightheartedness to it, and you get a little bit more of just what the movie's about, and then we get Black Manta. Oh my God, we get Black Manta on the rooftops with his minions, or just soldiers. We don't know his connection. I guess you could say that Aquaman's brother is maybe sending him to kill Aquaman so that he can't take his place on the throne, his rightful place on the throne, so that he could, take over all Atlantis and stuff. And so that's basically his job. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But just the way he looks, because, a lot of things don't translate well going from comic book to movie, or TV series or game to movie. But this looks awesome. This suit looks so incredible, as well as the other suits from the soldiers that was like going after Aquaman, and Amber Heard's character on the rooftops, and just how it looked, the sound design of just it, and how just the CG looked. It looks crazy. It looks super incredible. I can't wait till this movie comes out. I'm definitely going to go see it Thursday. If I can get an early screening to this movie, I'm definitely going to go check it out. This was an incredible trailer. If they would have showed this at Comic-Con, this probably would have been my favorite trailer. I enjoyed the Comic-Con trailer, but not as much as this one. This was awesome. Just freaking awesome. And then we basically get treated at the end of the movie, because we've been told that he's gonna don the old suit, or the original Aquaman suit, like it is in the comic books and stuff, and you see him in the suit. I don't know if I'm truly for it. I mean, I do like the Zack Snyder look of the Aquaman outfit. I mean, I guess I have to see how it looks as far as the movie goes, but to me, it just looks like fan service. So, I don't know, but overall, this trailer was awesome. It was really awesome. It was a real treat to just look on YouTube and find and just watch. It was awesome. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You will not be disappointed. If you haven't had faith in DC, and you probably might still not have any faith in them after watching this, because their track record. But at least this trailer can get you a little bit more excited than maybe you were before, or if you wasn't excited before. It maybe spark your interest, like, okay, this look good. It may be bad, but I will check it out. If it just sparks that, I think DC is just happy. And if it is a great film, not just a good film, a great film, oh my God, I will be so happy. But even if it's just a good film, I still will be happy. Just entertain me. That's all I ask. At least to a satisfactory way, to where I can leave and be like, that was a good movie. If I say that I can see this, I can see myself seeing this movie again, you've won me. And that's all I got to say about the trailer. And so let's go ahead and go to movie news to wrap up this episode of the Take One podcast and all that stuff. So all this stuff has been revolving around Avengers Infinity War, or just Avengers 4, And basically how Avengers Infinity War just banked off of, this is what everything is culminating to. like we get to see Thanos for the first time. We get to see more characters in one movie than Captain America: Civil War and stuff like that. And this is just we're coming to this. Now this movie is banking on the aftermath, and now they're taking full advantage. I mean, full advantage of just hiding the title from just giving us that picture, from people thinking that, the title was in the picture, to just little hints that's been thrown around to Mark Ruffalo going on Jimmy Fallon, just basically just quote unquote giving out the title of Avengers 4 because it's already out there and giving away major spoilers. And before it aired, he wanted Jimmy Fallon to edit it out because he didn't want people to know. And then the Russos fake fired him. And then he's asking for his job back. Like, they are milking the crap out of this. And the thing that's just kind of like crazy is that people are literally trying to decipher what Mark Ruffalo was saying on Jimmy Fallon. Because if you've seen the episode, which they have the little part on YouTube, you can go check it out. But when he says the title, they beep it out, but then also they have a black bar covering his mouth. And a lot of people were saying that, oh, he's saying like Avengers Annihilation and this and that, and then people deciphered it. And well, first of all, they got Annihilation from just basically following his lip movements, and that's where they got it from. And then on top of that, they basically some people, they deciphered it by doing some computer techie stuff and just removing the beep, and kind of like you can hear Mark Ruffalo say something to like Avenger or something like the Avengers, the last Avenger, and that's what they got from it. So they feel that like this one is going to be called Avengers: The Last Avenger, which, and really, if you say it out loud, it sounds so stupid. But there is a lot of titles that are going out there, but it's like for people to really try and decipher what he's saying, it's like you gotta know this is all play. They're not gonna sit here and give it out. He has a full studio audience there, and they cannot risk They can't risk several people knowing the title of Avengers 4 and hope that they keep their mouths shut, unless all the audience members are people that work for Disney and won't give out the title. But I don't even think that the actors know what the title of Avengers 4 is called. I think they're gonna find out when we find out. I don't even think they know, just so that it can keep it close to the vest. And I don't know, people are taking this super serious, trying to figure out what Mark Ruffalo is saying. And it's like, if you believed him when he said it the first time, once it got to the point where he was talking about the Hulk does this and that, he's acting it out, you got to think, he's playing. He's trolling the hell out of us. Like, for anyone who took that serious, need to smack themselves, because all this is in fun and games. Even the Twitter stuff with Mark Ruffalo and just the Russos, it's like all this is just fun and games. They're playing around with us. They know we want to know the title, and they're just playing around. Like, they're just trolling us. They're basically, in a sense, not a bad troll, but it's hyping up our anticipation to find out what the actual title is. So when we finally see the trailer, and then you get to the end where and then it starts, you see the actual titles like, oh, Avengers, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of the build up that. As well as Chris Evans has tweeted out recently that he wrapped everything for, Avengers 4 for him. And he, it was kind of alluding that he was done, but he didn't truly say that he was done. But at the end of the tweet, he did say that he was eternally grateful. Now, speaking of titles, that is one of the things that people are grab from it, saying that he could have chose any other word to end off that tweet, but he chose eternally. Now, looking in the comic books, there is a comic book called Eternity Wars, which has Galactus in it. and of course cosmic characters or whatever. And so people think that it may be called Avengers Eternity War or Avengers Eternal or something like that. And I don't know. I'm in favor with that title. I don't know, Avengers Annihilation. Because that spells doom. You know, this movie, in a sense, when you look at it, it's supposed to be the comeback. Thanos won, but now we're about to get back at him. And if you call that movie Avengers Annihilation, I don't know. Maybe it could work depending on what the movie is about, but I don't think that. I don't know. I just don't think that it's going to be called Annihilation or The Last Avenger. Like, that's just fucking retarded. But I think Avengers Eternal is probably going down the right path. Or maybe Eternal Avengers. I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff, but I feel like Eternal is going to be in the title. I feel like it. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel. I feel like that's the most logical thing at this point until we get some other hints or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's still a guessing game of what the title is. They're keeping it close to the vest, making sure it don't get out, but it's the only amount of time. Like, it may end up being going close to Thanksgiving, maybe Thanksgiving like week, maybe on Thanksgiving or close to Christmas. It's either one of those times, but I know we're gonna get at least a teaser of Avengers 4 before the end of this year. I guarantee it. I will put money on it that we would get some type of teaser or trailer, or just, you know, flat out trailer of Avengers 4 before the end of this year. We already got a Captain Marvel trailer, so you might as well just hit us with an Avengers 4 trailer and just give us that title. But, hey, it is what it is. And so, that ends this episode of the Take One Podcast, episode 92. Thank you guys for joining me. And like I've been doing for like the past few weeks, I'm going to be trying to put out several podcasts or whatnot. So I may end up dropping one tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know. It depends on what I have to talk about, or if there's new stuff to come out, new trailers or whatever. But expect 1 to 2 more Take One podcasts this week. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.